It was point blank, through no subliminal dissing. When I listen, I could tell you never been on no mission. Sticking to the script, don't care if I offend you. Neighborhood crib, the marathon
I overlook my competition, never seeing them. I done train my mind that I'm going. You could tell by how I walk, talk, I'm a boss. A east side millionaire, homie, what you thought? My life is a movie. They can't get close to me. They mad cause they can't be. I'm everything that they wanna be, yeah.
Big shout out to my nigga SPI, Spotter Low. You know I'm in the black box, had to come through, tap in, show love one time. Yeah, y'all make sure y'all subscribe. Stay tuned, all that.
Neighborhood, C-Mac, shout out my loc, Spotter Low, cuz. Neighborhood, on hood. It's a beautiful world. You fight me? Fight, crib.
In the words of Spider Loke on my mama's
The
mama.
homie cook-up boss, goddammit, Cub Low. And y'all tuning in to the Wake and Bake show with goddammit the homeboy Spider Low.
Here with SPI, the realest nigga in LA.
Spider this bitch.
My nigga Spider Loke. Spider Loke, nigga.
Spider Low.
Spider Loke.
Spider Loke.
Spider Loke.
Spider Loke.
Spider Loke, that's my nigga.
Spider Loke.
Spider Loke. Shout out to SPI, that motherfucking nigga.
You are now in the black box with the homie Spider Loke, the most eastiest. Facts over feelings, keeping it a Google Plex. Feel my campaign.
Spider Low, Wake and Bake. Better keep it Google, nigga.
Loke is in LA somewhere doing it.
Google gang, straight legend. Google gang, SBI. Google gang, Google gang in here. You better keep that shit a Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, you better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. Google, gang.
Bottom line, love life, show us a blessing. Pull up, politic, and blow a succession. Spider Loke, most easty. No mistaking the station. They making them statements. We waking and baking. Word of the day, EC on replay. The marijuana-thon with VJ Keyway, BS and BS. Killing on the track in the black box. We never put feelings over facts. Baymaacbiz, run me the bread. I don't get mad, I get money instead. I be high, you can tell by a nigga eyes. But wise enough to enterprise, you dig a lies. Contemplating with the Google gang, conversating. Counting coins while these cowards in the comments hating. Only thing count, my count getting another comma. I'm a magnet to the money on my mother mama.
Better keep that shit a Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts pressed, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, you better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. Google. Google gang.
If you can't keep it a Google, then don't mention me. Run a check through the set, I bet them niggas mention me. Red Bull and Hennessy, I keep the same energy. No matter on a solo or a couple homies with me. Tell them come get me if they want confrontation. I keep a couple shooters with me. And we right here waiting on shit to pop off. Take a nigga top off, you tempt me. All that BS, you can miss me. Slide down Century, doing about 60 in the gutter lane. Faded off yak and drop the pistol, hopping out the rain. I won't change, keep it a Google the only way. Mention me, I come out and play. That's on the gang. We're not the same. I ain't nothing like these rap niggas. Hanging with bangers, no bodyguards, we all strapped, nigga. All truth, no lies, facts over feelings. We ain't gon' start something we can't finish. Google gang.
Better keep that shit a Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts press, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, better keep it a Google. Keep that shit Google when you mention me. First sign of disrespect, I'm turning Hercules. It's gonna be a lot of shirts press, rest in peace. Keep it a Google, you better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. You better keep it a Google. Better keep it a Google. Keep it a Google. Google bang.
Jeter. Gratitude is the attitude. This show is a blessing to be back in the black box as we blow a secession on my mama. Shout out to the Blue Wrench mob. Shout out to the Google gang. Everybody up in this thing. Y'all see the title. Y'all see the thumbnail. We're going to get to our word of the day first, though. We do got one of them. Oh, my mama. Do I need to listen to the enunciation? Incandescent. Incandescent has literal and figurative meanings. Its literal meanings relate to heat and light. It describes something that is white or glowing because of great heat, and also something like a light bulb that produces bright light when heated. In figurative use, incandescent relates to several kinds of brilliance. Something or someone described as incandescent can be very impressive, successful, or intelligent, or simply happy and lively. In British English, incandescent can also describe someone or something feeling or showing great anger. The invention of the incandescent bulb in the 19th century ushered in the age of electric lighting. However much we were inclined to dislike her, it was hard not to be charmed by her incandescent smile. Incandescent is the word of the day. Put that in your word bank and utilize it upon need. You dig it, lies? Oh, my mama. Now, to the subject at hand. Not to be long-winded on this here segment at all. Everybody's seen what's been popping. Me, the homie Spody Face, and the homie from Cliche 93, the homie Scrap. Go follow that up for me. You see it in the corner, Cliche 93 TV. I'm trying to blow that up. I need that. Need them numbers ran up on YouTube, Instagram as well. We went over and we went to politic with American Cholo. Shout out to American Cholo and to the brother that run the sound. I can't think of his name right now. Real solid, cool brother. So, first and foremost, let me state this for the like Nina boy. Let me let y'all know this. No, my mama. But first and foremost, I'm not familiar with American Cholo's personality, his platform, nor his content. I appreciate and respect American Cholo because I was just generally aware of his name, American Cholo, and his presence online. And to me, just as much as I was aware of his name and with the Chicanos, I assumed that he was somewhat up there, however we want to classify, rank, none of that. I just knew his name was popping amongst their people. And I had an issue, came up with Mr. Criminal, and I was interested in discussing the issue with someone on that side of the cloth. And just because of how hard his name popped, not being familiar with his content, I went, pulled up on him, and that interaction, it went well. For all purposes that I can recall, it went well. Nothing left to desire. We served our purpose. We discussed the issues. Everything was respectful. And since then, he and I have maintained a very decent rapport. It hasn't been consistent or constant, but I've reached out to him a couple of times. I think he may have reached out to me once or twice. And whatever the conversation was, we were able to, satisfy what the other's interest was. So this time, my pulling up on American Cholo was not of my interest. I've been recently collabing on the S Show where we do S Talk when it's S time with Spody Face and ODM Slim on the Black Box and the new here at the new Black Box 2.0. So Spody Face, contrary to popular demand, because he made a splash on the internet being real controversial on some gangbang politics, a lot of people may think that's the depth of his character. However, he has a lot of things that interest him outside of the streets, and one of them in particular are racial relations. And as we've been collabing on a regular basis, he expressed an interest in having a conversation with American Cholo. And he stated this interest in front of myself and my business partner, Scrap. And Scrap had somewhat of an interest to seeing that happen. So me being the one with the relationship that already existed with American Cholo, I reached out. He was open to the idea. And we scheduled a date. It was about 2 weeks out. And that was the day we went to do it. Now, mind you, this conversation was set up for American and Cholo and Spody Face to have most of the dialogue. That was to be expected. That was not an issue. However, when we get there, when we doing our thing, we popping, we talking, I began to notice every time I attempted to interject, and every is an absolute, so I won't say every. The majority of the time I attempted to insert myself anywhere into the conversation, and I tried to wait on the most perfect times not to interrupt. It seemed like American Cholo, for the majority of the times, was being dismissive and just kind of like chumming it off, right? It's okay. And then when it began to irritate me is when this began to happen. I was trying to make one particular point, and you know me, y'all, with the metaphors and the similes and comparing things, right? Analogies. And we were discussing from his perspective how he was saying hip hop does not belong to our people. I'm on the live. I'm gonna hit you after the live. Oh, yeah, all right. So he was saying how hip-hop don't belong to our people because this has happened throughout the history of hip-hop. This person has been involved. That person has been involved. This type of situation has been attached to hip-hop. And so therefore, since so many people have experienced hip-hop, participated in the evolution of hip-hop, hip-hop is no longer a black thing, if it ever was. And this was basically what he was expressing. And in my mind, ding, 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 that didn't make sense. And as a perfect example to counter that, I thought of the taco. And usually you don't find analogies that fit so well. But the taco, I've thought about it a lot since. The taco is a perfect example to show how every other culture could adapt something, love it, sell it, maybe even in their perspective, or a lot of people's perspective, do it better than the original person. But we still never lose sight of the fact that it is Mexican food. And for some reason, they didn't allow it to resonate, or it didn't resonate with him. And as I was trying to express it, he kept acting like it was the most ridiculous thing that he had heard. And I began to question his intelligence when he didn't get what I was saying, because I thought it was a very, very simple to understand example. He kept trying to bring up Taco Bell to counter my point, as if He said, 'cause I guess Taco Bell is a white man's corporation. So he said, so is that Mexican food? Is it still Mexican? Do we own it? I don't care how many white men sell tacos. Taco Bell is marketed on there as Mexican food. So I was listening to Hoodie Hood. He did a reaction. Shout out to the homie Hoodie from the Hood. He did a reaction to the situation, and somehow he mentioned the word Chicano rap. And it's like he mentioned how Chicanos do rap, and they recently we've seen a more modern version of their music that is more similar to what we do. But in times past, they do Chicano rap, and it's all Chicanos in the videos, all Chicanos on the records. They have their own style, but they still call it rap. But if rap is black, then it would be a Chicano version of a black thing. But however, for some reason, that seems so offensive to these guys, to this guy, this individual. And then I remember before we got the, I don't know if I mentioned this on the podcast, but before we got to filming, just to set the ambiance in his room while we chilling and getting ready, like a DJ, the homie, I forget his name, that push the buttons over there and make everything work behind the scenes. Like a DJ, he plays music, and he's playing regular 70s, I believe, and 80s black R&B. And I made the comment to American Cholo. Now that I think about it, he cut me off then, but at that point he cut me off saying, oh, no, let's say that for the interview. But then when we got an interview, every time I tried to form a thought, he would cut me off as well. And I'm not here to clown him, talk down on him, or say anything that, of course, you didn't see I didn't say to his face. But however, shortly after leaving, he texted me and said next time he'll shut the So I don't even believe he was proud of the way he kept cutting off my statements. But I just asked him, like, what's the difference with all my life? I've been aware that Chicanos appreciated black music. Before rap was the thing, it was the oldies. And their culture plays oldies more so than we even play it to a large degree. Especially the older the music, the less it seemed like we were into it and they were still fucking with it. And I said, how was all these years Chicanos able to appreciate R&B, black music, without it ever being an issue of whose music it is? I said, as the generations has gone down, it's one culture still appreciating the musical presentation of another culture, but where does this tug of war of ownership and possession come from? And I thought that would be a good question to ask. And it just doesn't seem. I got to the point where I realized, at least with me, he wasn't interested in engaging in a healthy, deep dialogue on the subject matter. Because every time I tried to pose a question or present a perspective, he began to joke and laugh it off as if it wasn't making sense. And I did find that somewhat offensive and irritating. And I saw, shout out to Deuce, Adam 22, and Brick Baby. Shout out to Brick Baby, Lush One, the whole trio of them. I saw them do a reaction to the moment. And there's one thing they said that I got to correct, bro. No, I do got some SA partners. And if any one of them ever would refer to me as a dick casually, it's not registering right now as a common occurrence. Like, oh yeah, they do that all the time. But just to be fair, I'm searching my memory bank. They may have said it somewhere in the place. But once again, that would be in a time where we were joking, having fun, being facetious. And I felt like, I don't know why he took myself as a grown-ass grandfather, being in his presence, respectfully discussing such serious issues as something that was funny. So even if he was just saying like, Dick, like, in a passive way, bro, at that moment to spring it on me for the very first time in life when we don't have that type of rapport was inappropriate. And then that's why I be telling Adam about the sex plan when it come to me in particular. I don't do that. So to mention a dick while I'm irritated and you giggling, touching my arm soft, and I'm already frustrated. Now, correction, Adam, I was not angry. I was extremely irritated. And in order to control myself from becoming angry, I therefore removed myself from that immediate situation because it was getting hella weird on my mama. And I'm not mature enough, I realized at this point, to sit there from that point on and try to figure it out. That would have not been the best thing to do. The best thing to do is put some distance between myself and that individual and allow him and the homie to continue the dialogue that they intended to have before I even was part of it. Because I don't feel like my energy was received correctly. And I didn't come there I didn't even know American Cholo had a funny bone in his body. Maybe I don't recall from the first time we sat down, but I see a lot of comments saying that's how he is. So I kind of hold myself, one moment, I kind of hold myself responsible because I wasn't familiar. Hold on, y'all. Looked like they had the wrong address. Oh, no, never mind. Hold on, y'all. Christian Salvador, thanks for the super chat, man. I apologize for the interruption, y'all. Technical difficulty. We right back at it. Christian Salvador, he definitely initially was out of pocket. American Cholo is not the person to have a serious conversation about black and brown. Let's get this straight. He ain't even Mexican. He made that clear he wasn't Mexican. But nobody has never really directed me in another direction. Like I say, it wasn't me personal. It was the homie Spody's face. And, if I really just reflect on the whole way the situation developed, I believe at some point or another, Spody Face heard him say some things he didn't quite appreciate. And I think that's why he was more interested in going there. But I think he was more prepared and knew what to expect. And myself, I often watch Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Farrakhan sit on stages with opposition asking questions that could be considered very disrespectful and triggering. And I challenge myself to remain as calm as I've seen them do and give direct answers that pierce the soul and the ears of the listener, regardless of how they allow their emotions to be affected. And that's a challenge that, I guess that was a test for me, and it showed me I wasn't quite ready because, in hindsight, I could have just hung in there a little longer, been extremely patient, and then, humbly demanded my moment to express myself, and that perhaps would have been a better course of action. But no, I got SA partners. I ain't used to nobody calling me no dick. And even if that's their go-to word when they're saying like, fucker or whatever, that wasn't even a fucker moment or a dick moment. Like, I don't know. I didn't know where that energy was coming from. But, yeah, just so you know, I didn't walk out of the building. I just removed myself from right there next to the energy that was becoming so irritating. And he was right in my eyesight. I wasn't mean mugging him. I was smiling, laughing it off. You saw him refer to me a couple of times. I didn't give him no bullshit energy. It was just me realizing that moment was becoming a bit too tense for what I was capable of doing verbally, amicably, comically, because I wasn't in a comedic mood whatsoever, and he was trying to be funny. So that threw me off. On my mama, even like, yeah, like, but see, that was Brick, Adam, and Lust. Just think about it. The two white boys and the homie, we see how he know how to maneuver around that energy way different than myself personally. I don't know nothing about, and I'm just trying to be fair. I'm thinking back like, oh, you did? Yeah, that can sound innocent as you seen it in certain settings, but that was not the particular setting for someone I've met 2 times, and we've only worked together and never done nothing personal whatsoever. Is not even had a phone call. We had one personal phone call when a lot of people appeared that I was crashing out when I was doing the furthest from that. But upon the internet, it looked that way. American Cholo did reach out to show some concern. So that was the only personal time I can recall speaking to him. Every other conversation or encounter has been of a business nature. So for then, at a moment on camera in front of the world, to try to assume the comfort of calling me a dick, that don't resonate well with me. Never will. Especially, I've never spoken to him out of turn. I've never called him anything but AC, homie, brother, or American Cholo. And I don't find dick synonymous with those words. So I did not appreciate being called a dick. Especially, if you're going to call me a dick, calling me was dick with some anger. Like, don't be touching my arm or assault. That I was confused. Like, you joking and you calling me a dick. Is you trying to disrespect me, mark me out? That shit was like mushy. I don't know what that was. And I've interviewed a number of brown homies on Facts Over Feelings. You know what I'm saying? From Lux Tattoos to Marvelous Ink. I was trying to give a roll call, but I'm sure there's 1 or 2 that I may be not remembering. But I went and sat down with the hater world. I know how to have healthy dialogue with the other side. And one thing that's good that came out of all this, when after of everything, we was chopping it up, and American Cholo used the term uncomfortable conversations. And you know how I work. Bing, that's the title. So I believe the homie Spody Face, neighborhood, if that's really you, Giombi. I don't know if that's really good. I don't know if he be on here like that, but if it is, you already know what it is. But I think him and Spody Face are gonna go on to do continue like podcasts, and the title that I believe that they're gonna run with is Uncomfortable Conversation, because that was definitely at points an uncomfortable conversation. For one, if that's really the homie in there, I threw a little subliminal about 30v1. And now that's been a controversial conversation online for a few years. The homie told a war story, and he said he was incarcerated and he was in a riot situation. And I didn't hear him tell the story, but apparently he said he knocked out 30 of them, right? There was a lot of offense taken to that statement. No way possible, this, that, and the other. Why? Even some of my people's just like, man, the reason why I don't believe it is because a blade would have came out by now. On my mama. So by then, a blade would have came out by now. And you know, since the story came out and since everybody said their perspective, you think about it. I thought about it, and I'm like, you know what? I know how stories get exaggerated. So maybe it wasn't 30. So in my mind, I was thinking maybe somewhere between 10 and 20. But now when I went on American Cholo, and he introduced to me, I don't know if y'all was familiar with this, but it was a new concept to me about the BBG. He was explaining why through the years race relations turned into what they turned into, as far as it seems as if blacks, they're more readily to use weapons against us, and no head up phase, and the resentment that seemingly exists from them toward us. And he offered up as a reason for it, historically, his people having to deal with the BBG, which that was another term that threw me off because it's so reminiscent of BBC, and it just sounds like a victim's term. But he said that through the years, in his mind and his perception, at least, BBGs, big black guys like Big U, would press up on them and basically victimize them, for lack of a better word. And in my mind, if that indeed is the case, that you think of that military, and I'm telling you, he can call himself a little god. American Cholo is not a little guy by any means, especially in relation to myself with Spody Face. So I don't know where he gets this in his mind that he's a little guy. But he said, Cuz also said he knocked out Samoans too, they being too sensitive. On the set though, my mama, 16 years old, my first knockout was on the Samoan. No disrespect to the Samoans or that Samoan, but my first knockout was on the Samoan at Linwood Academy in the parking lot in front of a few witnesses that can still verify to this day. Oh, my mama. But, yeah, he's not a small guy. I don't know where he gets this small guy thing. He's a very formidable, solid individual. I don't know where he gets this size thing from. But anyway, I just thought in my mind, if you got 30 motherfuckers that view you in the way American Cholo just described, y'all got to understand, we ain't talking about the Big U we see these days. We talking about in his prime. And it only takes 6 pounds of pressure to send one. And a knockout don't mean everybody unconscious. But what about too woozy, where all your confidence gone, you not trying to run up and get no more of that. So, you know, the number, you know how stories, over the years, numbers do stretch. But I do not find it impossible for him to find himself in a room of a group of others that are not necessarily trained in any type of special self-defense or combat. And in his prime, I could find him, in my mind, knocking out a large amount. Hell, it's a story about, and you know, you can believe it, choose to believe it or not. When I was running through the county jail, it's a legendary story about a Bruce Lee type nigga that was whooping on sheriffs and all that for hours. He put his back up against the wall in the corner, and they kept calling. Everybody that ran up, he whop their ass. So I don't know how that story lasted so long without pepper spray, or if that was before pepper spray. But it was a legendary story about a karate nigga that whooped a whole bunch. And y'all believe Bruce Lee did half the shit y'all see on that screen. But when it comes to the BBG, it's impossible, huh? I'm just saying, even if you strapped, you got to poke me somewhere where it matter. Or even poke me. When my back against the wall, they all not strapped. Oh, my mama. And to be strapped in the county jail, bro, at certain times, does not mean strapped like you think. Some of them little pokey-okies don't be much, bro. Oh, my mama. But I'm not here to debate the validity of that story. What I'm saying is, when you hear a Cholo saying, oh, man, we was always getting pressed by BBGs, it's like, huh? You feel me? Oh, my mama. You digitalize, it's like, shit. It's footage of that Chinese dude on the news that had to call his dad. See, you know the story. That's the end of the story. They said had to call his dad for him to quit kicking ass in the county jail. He was whooping sheriff's ass and all that. So, I know the Chinese dude wasn't no BBG. He was probably a small frame individual, well trained. Well, Big U was a big old BBG according to American Cholo, and he was trained, well trained. So I ain't finna let him take it from my peoples. Even if the story is somewhat exaggerated, I don't believe it's fabricated. On my mama. And that's basically what I wanted to get to today, man. Just to recap that, I see a lot of y'all doing reactions to it. This is not a smut slander thing. This is just me being more expressive about my experience. Shout out to American Cholo. I still appreciate you for opening your door to myself and my homies. I wish you and Spody Face all the luck on y'all new venture. And of course, I will pop back up in the future and get the people a little bit more what they looking for, and perhaps it can go a lot better. Shout out to my boy Big Scrap and my boy Black Cliche 93 TV. If I'm not in the black box, that's where you can find me. On my mama. Tap into the S Show, hosted on Cliche 93 TV. That's myself, Spody Face, and Odium Slim. A lot of new content coming out. The new Black Box 2.0. You dig a lot? On my mama. I'm moving slow on my little buttons. Y'all know I ain't been doing this in a while, but I'm going to get back fluent with it. I know what I'm doing with it. I just been kind of chewing with it. Oh, my mama do like. Yeah. What the outro didn't play? Oh, it ain't playing. Oh, it ain't playing. Damn. I'm going to just end it because the outro didn't play.